All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to talk about PlayStation closing down, shutting down one of their first party studios, another first party studio that they're shutting down, and this time it was Dark Outlaw Games. Now, this is funny because PlayStation, I guess, started this studio literally 1 year ago. So it was literally March of 2025 that PlayStation had started this new studio, and the guy running it, I already forget his name, but apparently he's famous for doing Call of Duty Zombies. And for that reason, I don't give two shits about the guy. I feel bad for him, I guess, but I mean, if that's what you're known for is just Call of Duty Zombies, that's no wonder I don't know who you are. But anyways, this guy, unfortunately, I think the studio he was running before this one was also a PlayStation first party studio that got shut down, if I'm not mistaken. And then they started up this new one called Dark Outlaw Games. I believe that's what I heard. But one thing I know for certain that is a proven fucking fact is that Dark Outlaw Studios or Dark Outlaw Games was in fact a PlayStation first party studio. Everybody was reporting on it when it initially got started up 1 year ago. GameSpot, all these, but even the big PlayStation fanboys like MBG was reporting on it. It's like, oh, here's a new PlayStation first party studio. It's called Dark Outlaw Games. Everybody was reporting on it. But somehow, fucking AGN over here, all right, he actually fucking has this. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, but he's actually saying that this studio was not owned by PlayStation. Just have a listen here.
What's going on, gamers? So we have an interesting write-up here by Kami, but I think there's a misunderstanding here. And I've seen other people post the same thing as well.
No, the only misunderstanding is you. You're the only one who's misunderstanding here.
And it has something to do with PlayStation and Outlaw Games. Who we know, it was a studio founded 1 year ago under Call of Duty Zombies veteran Jason Blundell. The thing is, Sony doesn't own this company. So I think people's headline...
This guy's stupid. What the fuck is he talking? Yes, they do. They do own that company. Where are you getting this idea that they don't own it, AGN?
Are misleading. And they need to give people the correct information, right? Because this is what he said. He says, PlayStation is reportedly shutting down Dark Outlaw Games. The studio was founded 1 year ago under Call of Duty Zombies veteran Jason Blundell. This is now the second studio under him that PlayStation has shut down after Deviation Games. That's incorrect because Sony doesn't own them.
This guy's a fucking idiot. All right, so Deviation Games is the other studio that got shut down by PlayStation. This guy, Jason Blundell, or whatever the hell his name is, he was running that one before it got shut down, and then I guess he jumped onto this new PlayStation studio called Dark Outlaw Games. And this guy, AGN, he's like, that's incorrect. What do you mean it's incorrect? Are you stupid? Like, where are you getting this idea that it was not owned by PlayStation? It's literally on PlayStation's own website, AGN. And let me go show you guys that right now. All right, here we are. We're on the PlayStation website, right? This is PlayStation.com. What do you see there? You see Dark Outlaw Games, right? See Dark Outlaw Games. Let's scroll down a little more. PlayStation. It says PlayStation Studios Dark Outlaw Games. They wouldn't have that shit on their website if it wasn't theirs, AGN. So yeah, all you had to do was check PlayStation's website and you would see that Dark Outlaw Games was in fact a first party studio for them. So I don't know how you got... And he's like saying it with so much conviction too, like, oh, it's not even a PlayStation studio. Like, are you stupid? Like, I could understand if you're confused, but I think what happened is he read the article or whatever saying that, because the article says it was started and founded by Jason, right? So he just assumed that it's actually his studio and not PlayStation's. I don't know how he's getting this so wrong, but he's an idiot because, he didn't correct himself, and people in the comment section are literally telling him, and myself included, telling him, yes, it is. It's a PlayStation first party studio. All right, so back to AGN's video. Well, let's see what else he's got to say about this.
Down here in these comments, we're going to realize certain things other people are saying too. So the thing is that people's headlines need to be correct here because
They are
there's a
correct.
difference between like provoking people a little bit, but then clearly blaming somebody for something that they didn't do. Because like, what do you mean? PlayStation doesn't own Dark Outlaw games. If they had a partnership. And it was a live service game. And how many live service games, like we said, succeed?
Where is he getting this information from? So he's saying they didn't own it. It was a partnership. Where's your sources on that? Because again, I could go to PlayStation's website, pull it up, and what does it say? Oh, PlayStation first party studios, PlayStation Studios. There it is. Dark Outlaw Games. Doesn't say anything about a partnership. What the hell are you talking about? Just pulling that shit out of your ass or something?
Hopefully none of them. So is this Sony being a villain because they shut down a project and this studio gets shut down because they don't want nothing to do with that? No, you didn't meet the status quo, right? Now, Bluepoint is totally different because Sony went out of their way to get them, and it literally made no sense, like to me, why that happened. So that's a totally different algorithm. That's a totally different topic, and it's a totally different situation when you think about the quality that they provided. This studio has never shown they could do anything. I saw no gameplay. I've seen nothing. I don't even know what live service game they were working on, right? It's like, wait, hold on a second. That's all wrong here. So going down where you start to see stuff, you got people saying stuff like Sony has zero appetite for risk anymore, closing 2 bundle-led studios before even seeing the trailer is a terrible look for the creative pipeline, just chasing safe bets. Well, here's the thing. It's like, no, stop with the live service. Realize what works. And once again, they didn't close them down. Oliver says Deviation wasn't shut down by Sony. It wasn't a first-party studio. Correct. Jason Sherrier says more layoffs today. PlayStation is closing Dark Outlaw Games, a studio formed last year by former Call of Duty lead Jason Blundell. His previous studio, PlayStation studio, Deviation, was shut down. How do you guys remember that? They weren't doing anything. PlayStation is also making other cuts, including in mobile development, around 50 people laid off. That makes sense when it comes to mobile.
I don't know. Seems like you're just kissing ass for PlayStation, AGN. Is that what you're doing here? You're just kissing PlayStation fans' ass right now? Because everything you're saying is completely fucking off base, completely untrue. You don't have any sources to back up what you're saying. And then you read one comment from some dumbass saying, oh, that wasn't a PlayStation first-party studio or whatever. Well, where's the actual proof that it did not belong to PlayStation? Because again, you go to their website and it says PlayStation Studios, as if it belonged to them. And then you're saying, oh, they're not the ones closing it down. They're not shutting it down. Oh, really? Then who is? Who is shutting it down? Jason Blundell or himself is doing it? He's just shutting it down or whatever? No, I think it is PlayStation shutting down because PlayStation's always been shutting down studios. So why are you acting like, oh, it's not PlayStation doing it? Like, they've been shutting down studios, motherfucker. That's what they've been doing. They have been doing this shit this whole generation, the whole PlayStation 5 generation. This is the 8th studio that they have shut down. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why are you acting like, oh, this ain't PlayStation? Why are people blaming PlayStation or whatever? Look, PlayStation 5, and I know you've made some stupid ass videos in the past saying, oh, the PlayStation 5 is the most successful PlayStation or whatever, and Sony's making a profit. No, clearly they're not really making a profit when they're shutting down studios. Now are they? Canceling games, shutting down studios, laying off thousands of workers. And then you even said it here in this video. I don't know. I don't understand what happened with Bluepoint. Well, I'll tell you what happened with Bluepoint. PlayStation's losing money, and so they're shutting down studios. It's that simple. If you're not making enough profit, you could talk about revenue all you want. Oh, they made a lot of revenue. That doesn't matter. What matters is profit. Okay? Net profit. It doesn't matter if you're making a lot of money, but the profit margin is very small. Doesn't matter. You could have a very small business and their revenue isn't that high, but you know what? Their income completely outweighs their expenses. And so they're doing very well. And then you have a huge, gigantic corporation or whatever that is spending way more money than they are making. And now they're just laying people off left and right. And that's what's going on right now with PlayStation. So they're closing down studios. They're shutting studios down. They've been doing this since the Wii U era, by the way. That's how long PlayStation's been shutting down studios. And while PlayStation is shutting down studios, Nintendo has been building more studios. They've been acquiring more studios. And it's studios that make sense. They don't just go out and randomly acquire some studio they never worked with. No, they always acquire the talent that they are very familiar with that's been helping them work on their own games. So, yeah, that's all there is to it. But I don't know what your deal is. I don't know if you're just trying to kiss PlayStation ass and trying to get PlayStation fans to love your channel. I'm not sure what's going on here, but shit you're saying right here is just dumb as hell. Anyways, guys, you let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will talk to you all later.